Hi YouTube and welcome to another tutorial. In this one we're making this beautiful bifold natural leather wallet for men. If you'd like to make this wallet with me, there'll be a PDF pattern available down in the description below. And without further ado, I will ask you to like this video, subscribe for more content, and show support this way. And yeah, without further ado, let's build this thing. Right, so before we begin, we need to decide what pieces we'll be using. I've made this universal bifold leather wallet PDF pattern. You can technically do 1, 2, 3 types, even 4 types of bifold wallets with all of these pieces. But for this time, I'll be using, of course, the main panels for the wallet. Then we'll be using these 2 panels as well. This one, the coin pouch panel, the coin pouch panel, which is this. We'll also need the flaps, the pockets, the last pocket, and the snap. So these will be the pieces that we'll be using for this build. We'll leave this for another time. And now let's move on to the leather. So as you can see, I've divided these pieces into 2 piles. Reason being, these ones I'll be using the thicker leather, 1.6 millimeter thick leather for the back panel, for the strap, for the front pocket, and for 2 main panels that will go on the inside. For the rest, we'll be using this thinned out 1.1 millimeter vegetable tan leather, and it is because that we need to make the wallet as thin as possible, also by making it as comfortable to hold as possible. That's why for these pieces we'll be using the a little bit thicker leather. So next step is to, of course, cut everything out, and then we'll proceed with another step. Next step is to thin out all the necessary pieces with our blade. So the pieces that we'll be thinning out are these pieces over here. So these 2 are the 2 front panels that will hold the cards and the coin pouch. Then, of course, the coin pockets, the bottom of the pockets. For these card and coin pouch holders, we'll be trimming off only 3 edges because these will serve as a hidden pocket as well. Then the middle cash divider will trim off the sides of this piece as well. Then the bottom of the front card panel holder pockets, and also this piece that will go on top of the flat like this. Next step would be to trim off the excess corners off of the top parts of the leather, or of the edges, I'm sorry. So go around using this tool and just trim everything off like I'm doing right here. Time to dye every single piece with a color of your choice. This time we'll be using this awesome chocolate color. So we do front, we do back, and then we come back. All right, layer number 1 finished. Let's go to layer number 2. Second layer done. Let's move on to the back side. Right, so the back side is finished as well. The front side is double coated, and it is time to leave everything dry for tomorrow. All right, so it's the next day. Time to apply the second coat of the same dye, because some spots are not looking so pretty. If you are working with already dyed leather, please skip this step. If you're not and you've actually managed to dye everything on the first go, good for you as well. Next step after dyeing it for the second time will be adding the oil again, and of course adding the tan coat for the protection. So let's do these 2 steps and then we'll proceed. Now that all of our pieces are finished with all of the needed coats, next step is for us to collect all of the pockets. So these 6 pieces, these 2 pieces, right? Then the click on, as I call it. Then these 2 pieces, this, and these 2. So technically all of them. And what we will do next is round off the top parts of all of these pieces. So for example, I'll be taking this pocket, rounding off the top part from both sides, and then applying the edge coat. We will not be using tank coat and burnishing for this one. I just want to apply some dye and make it nice and shiny and even. The reason being why we're doing this right now is because after we glue this into the main pocket, main piece over here, we won't be able to touch this place anymore, so we need to prepare it in advance. So let's do these things. Which pieces I've actually touched and dyed. So first, of course, the pockets themselves. I've dyed the top part. Then the flaps for the coin pouch, the top part as well. This flap thingy that will support the closed wallet, I've dyed it all around, as well as the front pockets of the wallet, yeah, as well, the top part. Then the pocket, the coin pouch itself, also the top part, and all around the flap. I haven't touched the very top part. Also the side panel, also the top part. Then the sides of the main card holding panels as well. Let me find the panels, the sides. Oh, there we go. This and this. So these will be laying like so, and they will have hidden pockets. So I've dyed these pieces, these sides as well. Then for the flap card panel, I've only dyed the top part. And then for the main 3 pieces, I've also dyed the top part. Right, so first things first, we'll be actually assembling the pockets of the card pockets and the coin pouch. So we'll be needing one of the main panels for the coin pouch. For the card panel. So it will have 3 and the main card pocket. Then of course we will need to assemble the coin pouch itself with the flaps. We won't be needing this part. And also we'll assemble the other card pockets. So let's get on to it. First things first, what we have to do is take our template, put it on the main card panel, and mark the sides where the coin pockets will go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now for the other side, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just mark the sides. This will ensure that you place your pockets evenly, and then simply glue the pockets like so. Stitch the bottom, repeat the process. So what we managed to do so far is prepare one pocket, the other pocket. I've managed to punch through the holes for this wallet holder. We've also attached the flap to the coin pouch and also the side flaps for the coin pouch. So we've done all of these things, and also made the holes for the top part over here for the coin pouch as well, for the back panel. So the next step would be to first things first, I mean it depends really on you, but we'll be gluing on this card pocket to the top part of the flap, like so, or like so. Alrighty, next step is we move on to the coin pouch itself. So we will need the back panel, and we'll need to make holes and of course glue and stitch everything together. So to do that, you will need to take your front part with the flaps, put it right up against the edge, make sure it's super even and flat to the edge, and then mark the very top of the flap. Do it for the both sides, and then this way you will know where the flap will end and where until what point you need to make the holes. So I've already marked that, and now we need to make holes here. After we've done that, we need to glue these two pieces together and of course wait for the glue to dry and then stitch the top part. But before we do that, I'll come back to it. So let's glue everything together and make holes. Alrighty, so now that this part is glued all together, next part is the top part. So what you have to do here is really simple. Just make sure that your stitching lines line up, apply glue, and then glue this together, and then wait for all of it to dry, bone dry basically. So let's do that. So next thing what we can do while we wait for everything to dry is glue the middle section part that's gonna separate our cache with the back panel. So the only thing that we need to know is we need to put this middle section part somewhere in the middle of the back panel and glue the sides. That's pretty much it. Okay, now that everything is dried, next step is gonna be to sand off the edges where we won't be able to touch after gluing these pieces to the main panel over here, like so. So in this case, let's say we've already glued it in and stitched it all up. We need to touch on this side technically, and also we can do something a little bit something on this side, because we won't be needing to touch this top part after it. Also with these two parts, since this will go like that, we need to sand everything off as well. So the next step is to finish off these edges of the coin pouch, so here and here. Then of course stitch the inside part that's gonna go basically like that, and it's gonna have a hidden pocket here, and stitch it and also dye it. Also dye all of these edges or on the top card part, and also this part over here. Okay, next step is to make holes. I've already marked out where the holes will be, so all around here and down the bottom line here as well. Then we make holes all around this perimeter, and of course we stitch this side. So this is gonna be the inside of the wallet, so we need to stitch this up and have it be prepared for gluing. So we're making holes now, stitching together all around here, this part, and then I'll come back to it. So I've stitched everything that I've mentioned before. Next step is to attach this flap to this piece, like so. So really simple, just apply glue here, glue it like so, wait for it to dry, and we'll move on to adding everything to the main panel of the wallet. Alrighty, so these two are glued together. As you can see, I've already made the holes as well, and I've also managed to glue this in. So basically what I've done is, you know what, we can do the same thing that I've done here on this side. I will show you what I've done. So first things first, you take your card holder piece like this, line it up to the edges, make sure it's nice and even, and then what you want to do is mark the edges of the main panel over here, and then we roughen up the edges so that the glue would set in a little bit better. There we go. Then we apply glue right? And just simply glue it together like so. Make sure that your edges line up again like this. Press it down, make it even if you need so, and there we have it. Now we wait for it to dry. Okay, now that the glue is dried, next step is to stitch these two upper parts here. After we'll do that, I'll come back to you, but a little hint, we'll be sanding off and making the edges nice and even where needed. And then, of course, the finishing touches. So I've stitched up the top part. Now we need to sand it a little bit. So we'll be sanding the very top, the sides and the bottom over here. And after that, of course, apply the brown edge dye, wait for it to dry, and then we'll move on to making holes on the bottom and the side as well, and preparing for us to glue everything together. I've sanded the edges a little bit. I've got the top. Next step, glue everything together. So the easiest part to do it, the easiest way to do it is to glue one side, wait for the glue to dry a little bit, and then proceed with the other side, and of course proceed with the hole and stitching. Now I will mention that I've already prepared the holes for this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically all the way through. This way it will easier get through the rest of the layers of the leather. So there we have it. I have glued the back panel to the main piece, as you can see. Now it's been only like 5 minutes. The glue is still wet, so we need to wait at least. Well, what I like to do with this glue is wait at least a few hours, let it set real good, and yeah, then come back to it. So we'll wait for the glue to dry. Then the next step is gonna be make holes to the back side, to the back panel, then sand all the edges, make them nice and shiny and even, and yeah, and the only two steps will be left to do is to stitch and dye the edges. We have made it. It took a little longer than expected, but in the end I think it turned out pretty nice. It's still a little bit wet from the edge coat dye, but yeah. So anyways guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find the PDF banner from this wallet, it'll be in the description below. I'll ask you to like this video, subscribe for more content, and I will see you on another one. Cheers!